All right, if you're looking to make a little extra money, and who isn't, a little side hustle, we've talked a lot about this on the show, have an idea floating around in your head but need the extra push to make it happen, well,
the Entre Institute may be a good place for you to start, especially if you're looking for break into that online marketplace. CEO Jeff Lerner is here to talk all about it. Hi, Jeff.
Hey there.
Entre like entrepreneur, huh?
That's right. Yeah,
that's very cool.
Drop the preneur.
Yeah. Okay. So we throw that. I feel like that side hustle word, it gets thrown around a lot these days. But the fact of the matter is, there's a lot of people who want to see the internet as a place to make money, and they have a skill that maybe they are not utilizing. How do you get in and help them?
Well, it's interesting you referenced the term side hustle. I chuckle when I hear that term because it's such a throwaway term.
It's totally throwaway.
It's this little thing I do. You know?
Right.
It's hard.
Right.
And the internet has made it easier in some ways, but it's also made it harder in some ways. Made it inordinately more complicated in a lot of ways. So you can't just put up a shingle and get a space and stock a shelf and sell your stuff, right? So what we do is we try to demystify it, simplify it, focus on the things that make money. Like, people on the internet tend to very quickly develop shiny object syndrome, where they're just constantly chasing, whatever ad happens to appear in the corner of their browser, and they waste so much time. And literally years and years go by, it never matures past the idea phase, and we try to get them to the actual implementation and actually selling stuff and making money.
So let's say we wanted to do something. What's step number one? Identify who you are and what you're all about?
Something is pretty broad. Say, I want to do something. I mean, I would have some questions to figure out what the right step number one is. But yeah, it's going to be figure out what problem you solve and how you're going to communicate it to the market. Because the internet makes it easy to get the message out, but it makes it really easy for the message to get lost.
There's so much out there.
You have to be so clear about what problem you're solving and who it's for.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you that question because there's a lot of online kind of coaching folks just like you who have really big names and really big followings. I'm thinking Amy Porterfield, I'm thinking Marie Forleo, I'm thinking all of these really huge names that pack huge conference centers full of people. So what makes you or your service different than theirs or better than theirs?
Well, that's a tough question to answer because I don't want it to sound like I'm specifically targeting the two names you just gave me.
Right. No, I understand, but they are the name. They are the brand in this space.
And so here's what I would say is 12 years ago, I was a broke, out of work jazz musician living in his ex-wife's parents' house. And I wanted to reinvent my life. I knew that I was good at sitting at a keyboard. So I swapped out the piano keyboard for a computer keyboard, and through a whole personal story that I won't even bore you with, dug my way out of a massive hole, and did it literally one mouse click at a time, one affiliate product sale, and I kind of learned the internet from the inside out. I didn't come to the internet with the intent of teaching people. I didn't build my internet pedigree as an internet teacher. I was the guy in the trench doing the work. $40 million later, people were like, how did you do that? What did you do? And so I have just a different view that's been, I've been in that trench for 12 years.
Yeah.
So there's just things I know and things I've seen and little tricks that I remember that day when my ads weren't converting, and I didn't have a continuity business. I didn't have coaching clients. I didn't have, if I didn't make a sale, if I didn't actually get somebody to buy a retail product on a web page, I died financially.
Right.
Yeah, so we hear so much about, knowing who your audience is, because that's what we're dealing with here, knowing who your customers are, and then going and selling find out what your customers need and sell them that, right?
Right.
Is that what you found when you were in the trenches?
Yeah, I mean, the internet marketing is great because I think it's great because it's skills-based. It's not product-based. Once you develop a set of skills, look, you go on ClickBank, there's a million products you can sell.
Yeah.
Sure.
If you know how to sell them. And if you don't know how to sell them, there's no greatness of product that's going to solve that problem.
Right. I want to know what, if you're watching right now and have this idea, is your program best for somebody that has a physical product? Or is it best for somebody that is selling a service?
Yes.
Both. Okay, I just wanted to, because some people specialize in certain things.
With an asterisk.
Okay.
There's certain things that lend themselves better to an internet sale than others, both on the service side and the physical product side.
And do you help formulate that with whoever is coming through?
I mean, one of the things we're really, really good at and pretty severe about in some cases, is killing bad ideas.
Good for you. Thank goodness.
We're unapologetic about it.
Good for you.
So people do have lots of ideas and they want to move forward. Is it realistic to think that you'll have some modicum of success if we follow the rules that you've set out? Because you've already gone through this process.
Yeah, very realistic. I mean, and that's the thing is, all of our training is born of real world experience. I simply share what I've done, what I've learned, and what I'm still doing. You know, the nice thing about the internet is scalability doesn't really change the dynamic the same way it does in physical business. In physical business, if you grow a business to $1 million, you've solved one set of problems. And then if you want to grow that to $10 or $100 million, it's usually a completely different set of problems that you're trying to solve. It's logistics, distribution, regionality, whatever. On the internet, it expands and contracts without really fundamentally changing. And so even growing my business from wherever it is, I'm trying to add a zero, same as the next guy.
Sure.
I'm still fighting the exact same battles as the guy trying to make his very first dollar.
Well, Jeff,
Really interesting.
thank you so much for coming in and
All right, how do we
explaining
find
this.
you?
www.entrainstitute.com. Although I would suggest, because one of the things we teach a lot about is the way branding and marketing changes on the internet.
Yeah.
People want to connect to people.
Yeah.
So I would ask people to come follow me personally rather than go check out the website.
On your
Jeff
social
Lerner
media.
Official.
Jeff Lerner Official. There
All
you
right.
go. All right.
Thank you so much
Thanks,
for coming
Jeff.
in.
you, guys.
Great ideas. Maybe you can help us.
No problem.